You ever wonder why the people you help the most are the ones who abandon you when you need them the most? Why is it that the more you give, the more invisible you become? You bend until your back breaks for people, and they don't even notice. The snap. There's a silence that follows betrayal. It's not loud or obvious. It comes slowly, like rot. It seeps in when your calls go unanswered, when your favors are forgotten, when your kindness becomes currency no one wants to repay. And in that silence, you start to ask yourself, am I the fool for caring too much? Is compassion a weakness in this world? That's when Machiavelli whispers something most people don't want to hear. It is much safer to be feared than loved when you have to choose between the two. It sounds cruel, cold, maybe even evil. But is it? Maybe it's just brutally honest. Today, we're going deep into the uncomfortable truth Niccolo Machiavelli saw centuries ago. The truth about why helping people who don't deserve it doesn't make you noble. It makes you naive. And if you keep doing it, it will make you bitter. So buckle in, because this journey might sting a little, but it will wake something up in you, something powerful, something that remembers its worth. Let me tell you a story, one you've probably lived. In your own way, there was a man named Elias. He wasn't a king or a warrior, just an ordinary man. A father, a husband, a friend. He believed in being there for people. He believed in giving. Whenever someone at work needed help with a deadline, Elias stayed late. When a neighbor was struggling, Elias gave money without asking questions. When his brother couldn't pay rent, Elias covered it. He wasn't rich, but he had a rich heart. And over time, people knew. If things got hard, Elias would fix it, always. Years went by, but when Elias lost his job, silence. When he couldn't afford his daughter's medication, excuses. When he reached out, no one reached back. Elias sat alone in a cold apartment and realized something devastating. He had become a convenience, not a person. He was useful until he wasn't. And that's when the bitterness began to settle in his bones. This is not just Elias's story. This is your story, my story. The story of anyone who's ever been taught that kindness is its own reward, only to find out that the world keeps the receipt. Why does this happen? Because, as Machiavelli said, most people are not grateful. They are opportunistic. Men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, covetous, harsh. Maybe. But look around. Have you ever noticed how quickly people forget the hands that fed them? How fast they turn when you stop giving? Machiavelli wasn't being cynical. He was being real. He understood something we're not taught in school or church. People respect strength. They exploit softness. And if you don't understand that, your life becomes a revolving door for users. So here you are, a person with a good heart, someone who wants to see others succeed, and now you feel stuck. Do you stop helping altogether? Do you shut down, harden up, become cold? No, that's not the answer, but you do need to wake up. There is a difference between helping and enabling. Helping uplifts people who are willing to grow. Enabling allows people to stay weak because you keep rescuing them from their own consequences. Ask yourself, who in your life has taken more than they've given? Who disappears when you need them, but magically reappears when they need you? Who praises your kindness, but never protects your peace? This is the moment you must confront a hard truth. Some people are not looking for love. They're looking for leverage. Your empathy becomes a tool in their game. Your loyalty becomes their lifeline, but they were never going to swim back for you. Machiavelli would say, be wise as a fox, strong as a lion, know when to play the role, know when to walk away, and never ever let guilt chain you to people who would watch you drown if it kept them dry. Machiavelli wrote in a time of war, betrayal, and shifting alliances. But what he saw about power, manipulation, and human behavior applies just as much today. You don't have to be a prince to face betrayal. You just have to be someone who gives more than they take. He believed that true leadership, true strength, was not about pleasing everyone. It was about understanding people so deeply that you could predict their moves, guard your position, and never be caught off guard. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar. So what do you do with this? You learn to see through people. You learn to listen to their actions, not their apologies. You learn to stop explaining yourself to those who benefit from misunderstanding you. You learn the art of selective compassion, because compassion without boundaries is self-destruction. You weren't born to be a martyr. You weren't put here to fund other people's irresponsibility. There is a sacred balance between heart and backbone. Find it. The wolf who learns to walk among sheep may be gentle, but never forgets his teeth. And the shepherd, he carries a staff for a reason. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is say no. No to the manipulation. No to the guilt trips. No to being emotionally blackmailed. There is no prize for suffering in silence. There is only the slow erosion of your self-worth. And trust me, when you fall apart, the same people you carried won't even remember how to spell your name. You remember Elias? He eventually learned. He stopped picking up calls from those who ghosted him. He said no without guilt. He started investing in those who showed up when it wasn't convenient. His circle shrank, but it became sacred, and that right there is what you must build. A sacred circle, a space where your love is not currency, but connection, where your time is respected, not consumed, where your heart is safe, not scavenged. Machiavelli never said to hate people. He said to see them clearly. You can love humanity and still lock your door. You can care deeply and still say, not this time. You owe no one your exhaustion. You owe yourself your clarity. You are not cruel for refusing to carry people who won't walk. You are wise, you are waking up. And when you do, you stop seeking validation from people who only value you. When you're useful, you stop over-explaining your worth. You start building boundaries so strong that only those worthy of your softness get to see it. That's not arrogance, that's survival. If this message stirs something in you, it's because you've lived it. Maybe you're still living it. Let this be your turning point. If you feel seen right now, if this truth hits home, take a second, breathe, reflect, and when you're ready, share this message. Drop a comment. Subscribe to keep your inner voice strong. This is not just a video. It's a mirror. And the person you're becoming deserves to be protected. There will always be those who say, but isn't that selfish? No, it's sacred. Boundaries are the architecture of self-respect. You weren't put here to be a battery for broken people. You were put here to build something meaningful with those who meet you in the middle. The next time someone tries to make you feel guilty for walking away, remember this. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. That's Machiavelli again. And while it might sound heartless, it's simply a reflection of how people change, how situations evolve, how your loyalty should not be a life sentence. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to say, this no longer serves me. You are allowed to choose peace over obligation. And when you do, something magical happens. You start to attract those who match your energy. You start to feel full instead of drained. You begin to walk with dignity instead of desperation. And that's when you realize you never lost anything by cutting off those who never truly valued you. You found yourself. So here we are, a little wiser, a little more awake. If this message spoke to your soul, don't let it fade. Make a quiet promise to yourself tonight. No more helping people who don't deserve it. No more rescuing those who won't save themselves. No more draining your light. To keep others warm. You are not the villain for protecting your energy. You are the hero for finally coming home. to yourself. And if no one's told you this lately, you deserve to be seen. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to be free. If you're ready for more truth like this, stick around. There's a whole world waiting to be unmasked, because the truth isn't always pretty, but it will set you free.